All right.
Oh, wait, who's starting this?
You. It's your show.
It's my show.
I'm a guest on your show.
Oh, my God, I love that.
Yeah. I can't wait. So
Josh
much
Brown?
easier. Yes.
It's so much easier, isn't
Yes,
it?
yes.
Also, I like it because I'm in control.
That's right.
That's a very
No,
good
but I
thing.
like that too.
Josh Brown,
Yes.
Jill Schlesinger here.
Is this Jill on Money? The Jill on Money experience?
This is the Jill on Money experience brought to you by
All
the
right.
Compound and Friends.
Awesome.
Can I just go back in time? I fell in
How
love
far?
with you and Michael
Oh,
less than a year ago.
us too.
And so this is like Beshert that we have come together
Yes.
and brought these two crazy people into a room together, you and me.
Yes.
And I can't thank you enough for the opportunity. Like, it's like you're bringing us into your family. So it's the Compound and Friends, but now I feel it's friends and family.
Yeah. So that's the way I think of it. You're in the family. You're very special in a multitude of ways, obviously, but in terms of the compound itself, you are the first non-Ritholtz Wealth employee to have a show on the Compound Network. So you're almost like it's like a Neil Armstrong thing. Like we're seeing
I
how
like
this
it.
goes in real time, and it's very exciting.
I brought something to commemorate this because, as
Okay.
you know, I like to bring food.
Okay.
Which is a way. This is, but for anyone looking,
I'm not doing carbs this week.
This is important because it's Greenberg, and that means
Okay.
I paid a lot of money for
All right,
it
fine.
for you New Yorkers. So there's two things in here that I want to point out to you.
Okay.
One is that I know you're not doing carbs, but this is.
I'm just kidding, by the way.
I know exactly. So these are supposedly the very best black and white cookies
Okay, let me see.
in New York City.
Okay.
They're from Greenberg's.
Okay.
I got a black and white, I got a Christmas, and I got a Hanukkah.
Okay.
But underneath, hold on. I also wanted to make sure that both you and Michael,
Oh, look at that.
it's a little
Menorah.
Hanukkah cookie.
But wait, did you get the Christmas because you know that I'm half
Half,
Jewish,
yeah.
half Irish Catholic?
Yeah,
You know
I got
that?
a little half in it. Yeah,
Okay.
you've disclosed all
I
of that.
got a
with
lot
me.
of my bases covered.
I know it.
As a result of
I
that.
know it.
Okay.
So I want to cover the base of like why I actually got involved in this program because I really knew you from a long time ago. You don't even know that. I don't think you realize, but I followed you on Twitter when Twitter was Twitter and it was
Okay.
fun.
OG
before it was,
Twitter. Yeah.
Before it was a cesspool.
Yeah.
And you once retweeted something I did at CBS Money Watch.
Okay.
Who could remember when?
Right.
And I was so excited. I was very tickled because I was like, oh my God.
Oh, cool.
Downtown Josh Brown.
Yeah.
Actually, and so I think what I loved about it is that both you and I trained as investment advisors.
Yep.
I came from the trading world. You came from the retail sales of the
You
investment
could say
world.
boiler room. It's okay.
I wasn't gonna. I don't want to
All
say
right,
that.
everyone,
but to people,
it's out there.
so
We're proud of
for
it.
people who don't know a little bit of your
Yeah.
backstory, can you explain who you are and how you got to this amazing, lofty place?
I would love to. So for the Jill on Money audience that is not very familiar with my backstory, I spent the first 10 years of my career selling stocks, mutual funds, closed-end funds. I was like the stereotypical Series 7 registered representative working at a succession of brokerage firms, and our job was to sell products to people. Sometime around 2008, 2009, I don't know what was going on in the
I
world.
know it's sort of a small thing.
Yeah. During the great financial crisis, I really was forced to look in the mirror and admit to myself that nothing I had done in that first 10 years was really helping anyone. And I was not really helping myself either. I wasn't particularly successful, I think because I had a conscience. Not a great thing to have when you're selling commission-based financial products. Anyway, I made a decision to reform. That's where the blog title, The Reformed Broker, came from. It kind of became my persona online. I joined Twitter. I started to write my blog. I met some of my idols, including Barry Ritholtz. Fast forward a couple of years, we launched the current firm that we own in 2013. And I am no longer, obviously, a retail stockbroker. Back in 2010, I dropped my Series 7. I am now a Series 65 IAR, Investment Advisor Representative. That's the designation.
Mm-hmm.
And the firm we manage is a registered investment advisory firm, which means we only get paid for advice. We can't sell any products to anyone. And that's the way we like it.
Ritholtz has people all over the country, right? It's like they're not all. They're not. You don't like have employees per se.
I got all over the room.
I mean,
all over.
but you have people all over the place who are not just. You're a New York-based organization with people all over the place.
Yes. So we're a very strange firm. Most registered investment advisory firms, as you know, they're built locally, and if they do well, they expand regionally. Then they become statewide. Then maybe they make an acquisition in a contiguous state, and they grow that way. We grew outside in. We had more clients outside of New York than in New York, and that's because the entire following of the firm was not built at a country club where we play golf all day. It was built online, and it was built based on our ideas and our writing and our philosophies. So we're 60-something people at this point. I think we have 25 client-facing certified financial planners. Those are the people who interact with our clients each day and really become a part of their lives. And then we've got this whole incredible run of support folks, client service associates, researchers, subject matter experts in areas like tax, estate planning, insurance. We've got a team of traders. We've got a media team, as you can see here. So
Jesus,
it's been really—
it's like a lot of overhead, though, man. I gotta tell you something.
It's a lot of overhead, but we nobody told us to do it this way.
Yeah.
This is what we want. This is what we wanted to do.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And what's interesting to me is that like you are straightforward, like investment advisor, pretty vanilla when you talk about like advice and what you need to do. However, your show, The Compound and Friends, with Michael Batnick, who's not here sadly, but you give him a cookie.
You're going to get Michael next week.
All right, very good.
Okay.
I think that it was surprising when people might tune into you. First of all, you're so incredibly entertaining, but also you love talking about the economy and investing. I mean, Michael is a CFA, not a CFP. So his brain is wired to like love investing.
Yeah.
So how do you marry these two sides together? Like, hey, I'm
so
kind of
glad
like the boring advice guy, but I love talking stocks.
I'm really glad that you asked that. This is my lane. If you think about the spectrum of market commentators, on the far left, let's say, you have the mad money crowd, day trading, options trading, hedge fund wannabe, like just people that think or act as though they know everything that's about to happen. They're an expert on every stock under the sun. They're constantly trading. They're always making money. Everything they say is right. That's, I think, traditionally what's dominated financial media, let's say up until the last 10 years. And there's been a sea change, which we can go very in depth or we could just gloss over it. But let's say that's one end of the spectrum. Then you've got the other end of the spectrum of financial commentator, and that is very puritanical, very doctrinaire. Anyone who ever deviates in any way from the Vanguard 500 index ETF at 3 basis points is literally a heretic and should be burned at the stake. And
I might lean that way.
Okay.
I'm scared.
You've got the Bogleheads Forum.
Yeah.
You've got, you've got people who just, are you actively investing? How dare you? How are you unfamiliar with the academic literature on how detrimental it is to actually have an opinion on a stock? Okay. Those are the two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I think I'm closer to the more puritanical in terms of what we actually do for clients.
Yeah.
However, I think I'm much more interested in the left side of the spectrum, market commentary, price targets, upgrades, downgrades, new technology breakthroughs. That's what I'm really excited about and interested in. I just know better than to think I'm going to dominate that type of market activity. Of course, I'm not.
Yeah.
Here's why that's important to our viewers, listeners, fans, readers, subscribers. They feel the same. I think they feel the same way that I do. It's important to know what's going on in the market, and with prolonged exposure to that information, what should happen is you should recognize a pattern. How many people are wrong, how many things people are wrong about, how frequently everyone is wrong. And once you become accustomed to that, you start to realize, okay, the right side is the way to do it. The left side, though, being exposed to it and understanding it is why I'll be able to stick to the right side.
I love this idea that once you're really immersed in the world of looking at stocks and valuations and all this stuff and ups and downs, and like, I love when you and Michael are talking and you're like, well, next 30 days.
Yeah.
Now, like that appeals to the trader in me.
Yeah.
But you're right. The more you do
Well,
it.
Michael is next 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But the more you do it, the more you do realize like, oh, wait a second. This is nonsense. And I'm not saying nonsense, you can't make money. But when I'm talking to people and they come on the show and they're like, they have a fun money account. Like, I'm cool with that.
Everyone does.
Everyone has a fun money account, right? So I think for me, I do sort of lean towards the indexing, and it just makes more sense. And by the way, there's so many more ways to be constructive about building wealth than just investing, because there are a lot of things that you do as an investment advisor that are super smart and really help families. But the idea of like taking 5% of your invested assets, 10% of your invested assets for you for 60% of yours.
Yeah.
Sprinkles won't let you do that.
No.
Do you want to?
Well, so I want to say two things. So we are the type of firm that says what we really believe, and I think people appreciate that. And as a case in point, on Tuesday of this week, my chief operating officer, Nick Majuli, who also writes a very popular blog called Of Dollars and Data, he did a post where he talks about when he was younger, he used to think that his job was to optimize his portfolio perfectly. And he's laughing at how little money he had, but he was so obsessed with, how much stocks, how much bonds, how much cash, how much gold. As he grew up, and I've watched him grow up, I've known him for a long time, and he's been here with us for years, he came to understand that's irrelevant. What really matters is raising my income. What really matters is building my career. The asset allocation being optimized or not ain't going to make a difference. Now, how many financial advisory firms would allow an employee to say that out loud?
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
We have always said things like that out loud. I think people read them and appreciate them. It's a little bit unorthodox. It's a little bit renegade, but that's what we're about. The second thing, if people say like, "Oh my God, how do you expose yourself to this much market commentary and TV and podcasts? Like how does it not drive you crazy or to do crazy things with your investing?" There's a great scene in The Avengers, and the whole movie, Robert Downey Jr. Who plays the Hulk? Who plays the Hulk? Mark Ruffalo. The whole movie, Robert Downey Jr. is trying to trigger Mark Ruffalo. And like, what's your secret? Like, how are you staying under control and not becoming the Hulk?
Yeah.
So I think by the end of the movie, Ruffalo says, all right, you want to know my secret? I'm always angry. Okay. So you want to know my secret for how I don't get triggered to like do crazy things in because I'm always around it. I swim in it. So I know better. I know that so much of it is entertainment, infotainment. It's great knowledge to have. It's exciting. But I also know how little of it is really actionable. And so you want to know my secret? That's my secret.
All right. I love that. And I think that like the secret, so let me just go back in time and just say that I came on in March of last year in 22. And I was coming on to promote my book because I just talked my way on to get on the show.
Yeah.
And
well, no, you knew Blair.
Yeah, Blair.
So Blair Duquesne, who was also a superstar blogger, financial advisor at the firm, she said to me, "Do y'all know Jill?" I said, "It's not my Blair impression. I'm sorry."
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Blair's from New Orleans. I'm sorry. Blair said, you guys know Jill? And I'm like, no. She's like, you have to meet Jill. And boy, was she right.
And so I walked in here and we just talked. And when you guys interviewed me about the book, about my background, and it was what I like to say is I really felt like this was family from the very moment I walked into the studio. I really did. And I said to you guys after, I said, listen, I've been doing this media crap for like 15 years. And I said, you have something magical. You guys are amazing together. And I am so excited to kind of bring the Jill on Money audience to you guys. Now, listen, everybody who listens to my pod and to all my stuff, you are not allowed to love Josh and Michael more than you love me.
Oh, they won't.
Yeah.
I would. That's the last thing you should worry about. Why don't we tell people, it's your show, but why don't we tell people what your goal is, just in all the years you've been broadcasting, all of the fans that you've touched and helped, and all of the information you've delivered. What do you want the Jill on Money audience to get, not just out of joining forces with us, but just in general, tell
You
us
know
a little
what?
bit about your mission.
I mean, look, the bottom line for me has always been that I try to take complicated and emotional topics and make them relatable to people. So, I'm your sassy aunt, I'm your sassy sister, I'm your sassy daughter, the nice Upper West Side lesbian Jewess who will help guide you.
Right.
And
Which
but
most people don't have one of those.
I mean, everyone needs one,
Right,
obviously.
right.
And to me, I think that we are so crazy about money and we're so crazy about our decision making when it comes to anything financial that I want to give people the space to just say, like, I get it. We are all crazy.
Yeah.
And the world is more than just your investments. And, when I wrote the book, the Reset book, it was really about my conversations with real people who are really struggling with big decisions in their lives. So what I hope to do is I basically say, come on, tell me what's going on. What's bothering you? What's the conflict between you and your spouse? What are you having a problem with mom? How are you trying to manage this? You're young, you're starting your career, you hate it. What should you do differently? How do you make changes in your life, making sure that you don't blow up your financial part of it? Or how do you use the money you've accumulated to get you to a different place? And maybe it's just you need a pat on the shoulder. Maybe you just need a hug. And maybe it's just something crazy. I have to say in the last year, we've had some pretty intense conversations. People who have like end stage diagnosis or come on and they'll say like, listen, I'm going to die in a year. I need to take care of stuff. And I said, like I could cry and I could do that, but that's not what you need right now. And they're like, yeah, right. I need like advice. Like
Yeah,
that's
they
what I
have
need.
people doing that already in their life. Right.
Yeah. And so I think that what we're hoping to do is a space where we just have a repository to kind of take your emotion in and hold you a little bit and listen to what you need to do. And if you're an engineer, we'll tell you exactly what to do so you stop analyzing it.
Right.
If you are somebody who says, quote unquote, I'm bad with money, I think it's baloney. You're probably not bad with money. You're probably just stuck emotionally with something. And we're going to kind of peel this away and get you where you need to go.
So I think you do such a great job with that. And whenever I listen to you, it's a calming. It's always entertaining, but it's like also calming. It's like, all right, so this is not a hedge fund manager. This is not a chief strategist at Morgan Stanley. This is like a regular person who has an expertise, who is talking to regular people. One of the things that we really have not done on the compound up until now is have a lot of conversations with regular people. We take their questions, and Ben Carlson does a really great personal finance show with Duncan each week. But we have not had live conversations with regular folks, and you do that every week, every day of the week, frankly. So I think that's going to be a really interesting dynamic to bring to the channel. I'm so excited about. The other thing that you do, Jill, every week there's news. Some of the news highly pertains to people, like new tax law, et cetera. And some of the news might pertain to people or might not, and people don't know. So I think one of the things that you bring to the table that I'm also really excited about is, all right, this just happened. Your friends are talking about it. Your parents are asking you questions about it. Your children are asking you questions. What does it mean? How much attention do you need to pay to it? And when you do those breakdowns for people, even if it's not all the time, that's extremely valuable because it's coming from a really genuine place. And I know our audience is going to love that.
So, all right, we're going to do this. We're going to have Jill on Money, brought to you by The Compound and Friends. And
Powered by The Compound.
Powered. Oh,
Isn't
there
that-
it is, guys.
Isn't that like
Is
more
that good?
tech? Like more?
Yeah. Powered
You're going
by.
to be powered by our AI.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. I don't have to do anything. I'm like Sports Illustrated. This whole thing has been replicated
Yes.
by
but
AI.
But listen, you're like you're now in the gang.
I like
And
that.
The
Does
gang is going to do big things in 24.
I mean, I just feel like it's a love fest. I do. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity.
How soon, Emmy? Where is our? Why is?
Where are
why
the
isn't he
Emmys?
here already?
Where are Gracies? Line them
yeah.
up. And thanks to Rob, who likes to basically bring good people together, and you brought him together, and we all made this happen together.
So Rob, one of Rob's first moments here with us, you had come in, and he's like, "She's a star. What are you doing?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "We got to figure something out." And he was right, and I'm so glad it all came together. So thank you for coming and doing this and being a part of what we're building.
I'm
It's gonna be amazing.
so excited. I can't wait. I can't thank you enough for, number one, helping kick
We
this
can't
off.
thank you enough.
I think I'm feeling so happy, feeling like filled with the love. And
Yes.
just for everyone listening, at some point, every so often, we'll just throw our chats that like Michael and Josh and I have where we're usually hearting each other.
Yes.
We're very mushy, the three of us.
I think so, and I think that'll come through in the content. And even before you joined the gang officially, you were part of the gang, and you're the newest banana on the team, and we love having you. And let's have a ton of fun in 2024.
All right. Here's to you.
All right.
Grab your cookie.
All right, we got it.